we're on our way to a Mitsubishi gathering, Evos, GTOs. Hopefully we see some first gens because there's not too many of these old nuggets on the road. While there's nothing of interest under the Mitsubishi badge these days, it's really the cars of the 90s that enthusiasts still gravitate to. X3E Motorsports in Scoresby recently hosted a Melbourne meetup of Mitsubishi owners. While there were many Evos in attendance, there were also quite a few unique rides on display. So Jerome, this is what's going on, upside down Mitsubishi, turbo on the back. Explain this.
So basically it's a VR4 block, factory to the car. VR4 driveline, the usual stuff that comes with an actual VR4 Galant, or this is a ZR4 because it's a hatch. Basically, made a few of the guys on the 4G places and forums said the Evo 4, 5, 6, 8, 9 heads wouldn't fit. Oh well, they will fit in theory. So we decided to test it. A friend had a head lying around the house. I can fabricate probably 2-3 hours of figuring it out, and it actually fit.
It's probably the only, this is probably one of 2 cars in Melbourne I've seen do this.
Yeah,
Yeah, the backwards head, yeah.
It's not bad. It actually does help with some of the response. So with the older series head, which is with the larger ports.
You would have had the 6-bolt port.
6-bolt, correct, yeah. So 6-bolt larger ports. I tend to find that it was laggy to a point, so it actually took a while to spool, obviously considering it was low compression.
It's like why when they went to the Lancer they actually put a smaller port on because it was about response for the rally car.
Yeah. So just noticed by moving that, and there's some small things that Mitsubishi have done with the heads. Small differences. I think the CC in the actual head as well, in the dome, is slightly different between all the series. And using also a 4, 5, 6 head is ever so slightly different to a 7. And I think the 7 from the 8, and obviously the 9 is a MeVec, is also slightly different as well, just by looking at them.
So sorry, what was this up again?
It's an Evo 7.
7, yeah.
Evo 7 head VR4 block, yeah.
That's pretty Frankenstein.
It's not so bad.
Well, I mean, the biggest difference really is it's all reversed.
Yes.
I mean, this doesn't really look that much different apart from, you don't really pay much attention to this, but your turbo on the back, and of course, this is a bit like what ends up being when you have a front mount on a WRX. Your piping's kind of having to go all the way from the rear to the front.
I tend to find it's also shorter too, to a point, because with obviously a standard VR4, it'd have to go over the manifold, straight into the intercooler, into the intercooler, and then back around.
You're right, because even mine runs all the way along the front, which you don't
have to. So intercooler straight to the throttle body was only 30 centimeters.
I mean, effectively, this is the same length as your standard setup, so you're right. It's just deceiving when you look at it.
Slightly.
So what ECU's on this? So
at the moment, it's a Tommy Mackinnon 6.5 ECU.
And you flashed that?
It has been flashed, although I've just put a 3076R onto it, so it does need to be reflashed, and I'm still running 560cc injectors at the moment, just to run everything in and get it to actually...
What loom do you run to use that computer?
I made my own patch loom to run, so standard VR4 loom, with a patch loom to go into an actual 6.5 ECU.
And so what exhaust manifold?
Custom. So I've done everything custom at home.
So it's obviously not running a Mitsubishi.
No
way.
Previously,
sometimes you see those modified housings.
Oh, of course,
yeah.
So previously it was a Evo 7 RS Turbo with a 9.8 rear, which is extremely responsive, very nice, but used to pretty much die off around the 5,500 mark. Even with the 272 cams. But now I find that with the actual GTX 3076, it does go the whole way through the power band.
You've tuned it on this now?
Just some small street tuning here and there, just some tweaking. Not exactly professional in it at all.
But you haven't got a power figure out of it yet?
No, not yet. VDR graphs show something, but considering my ratios are slightly off, larger tires, different car completely, and this isn't actually in the program. It says 200-ish, but I don't know how accurate that is at present time.
So this is front-wheel drive?
It's all-wheel drive.
Oh, it is all-wheel drive.
No, it's just this. It looks different because it's the hatch.
It is a hatch, yeah.
So it's the same as the sedan.
So it's a VR4. I'm not sure if it's still here. No, it's not. VR4 is basically a sedan version.
Yep.
ZR4 is the hatch, so it's an Eterna ZR4.
It's still a four-door though, but it's just a different.
Correct, yeah. Pretty much.
Like the difference thing Jerome's done. You've done this your own wide body.
On wide body, yeah.
Oh,
so
the
front.
So it's got a much wider track when you look at.
So at the moment it is, from memory, the front is 3 inches, so 75 mil approximately, and the rear is just over 2 inches pumped.
You're probably running, how wide's your tyre on that?
265.
Yeah, it's huge.
2.6,
I mean,
yeah.
on a standard car, you couldn't ever put that on.
No, of course not.
Well, it's obvious handy straight up, yeah.
It's a bit big, but it does handle on the high speeds.
Yeah.
Although it
So what gearbox are you running in it?
standard gearbox at present time, so final ratios I believe 3.545 standard VR4.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head. Still not too bad. Freeway is actually quite good. It's actually quite smooth because of big tires and the actual ratio. So it's just about 2.8 to 100. Surprisingly good on fuel as it is. But after the E85 and such goes in, it's probably going to suck.
But your bottom end is stock?
No, bottom end's forged.
Okay.
Forged, old school forged. So I'm not quite sure how long it'll last.
Still, you can at least push it a bit on
Of course,
F1.
yeah.
Yeah.
So aiming for a flat 300. I don't really want any more than that. I just want the torque curve.
Yeah.
I want to be able to drive it. I want to be able to have fun on the road. Maybe take it to a circuit here and there. Don't want to drag. Don't anything like that. Nothing.
You sound like me, man. It's kind of very similar.
I just want to relax. I just want to enjoy my car. I mean, you take it to the drags. You're always putting everything under stress.
Well, I talked to a few guys today who've been at the drags, broken transfer cases.
Yeah, that's a common. And it makes it worse with us on the VR4s as well. I'm not quite sure with you guys. We have two different versions. We have an alloy transfer case, an all alloy, and a half steel, half alloy. So if you got obviously the alloy version, you're only going to handle how many hundred before it just snaps while you're driving. So it's going to suck even more. But again, they handle pretty well for as old as the car is.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a 1989. It's actually handled a fair bit of abuse.
So what would this weigh?
I have no idea.
What would they weigh standard though?
They're more than a standard VR4. So I think on the standard VR4, I could be wrong. I think we can ask Baz. I think 1380, maybe.
But even so, it's probably on par with say a modern all-wheel drive, like a.
Yeah.
Actually, it'd be lighter. The current model ones are bloody bricks.
The Evo 10, yeah, Evo 10 would be fairly.
But even light, yeah.
It'd probably be on par with say an Evo. I wouldn't say an Evo 4, 5, or 6. They're fairly light as it is. Probably Evo 7, 8. Probably an 8.
I think Barry's mentioned this Outlander.
Outlander,
just before, yeah.
Yeah, so basically, from memory, the 296. Correct me if I'm wrong. 296.
Right,
But all you got to do is basically, there's a couple of actual forums onto it on the DSM and tuners websites. It's just the bracket. That's all pretty much is. So it's the bracket and the disc itself. So you buy the disc, slap that on like normal, buy the bracket which actually offsets your actual caliper further out to actually allow it to run on the disc. You still run the same standard pads, which from memory I think is DB1223. That's how often I've changed them. And pretty much everything bolts up like normal.
But where do you get the 5-star conversion from?
5-star on these ones.
As well?
So the rears are a little bit harder. So the rears have to come from the US, which makes it easier for us. It's the only place we can get it from. Eclipse, one first gen?
Because over there, their Eclipses are all 5-star, weren't
Correct,
they?
yeah. So they started from 5-star.
So that's how we should have had it, yeah.
A front you can get from, I'm pretty sure, either an Evo. I have to correct me on this one. I'm pretty sure yours was Evo. My one might have been easier because I got these from a Magna. So TR 4-cylinder Magna, or else I'm pretty sure the spline's different. Or again from another Eclipse.
Yeah.
That pretty much just makes it easier. But heaps of the 5-star conversion stuff in DSM.
And then you've got way more choice with wheels and everything moving forward because nothing's done in 4-star anymore.
No.
And effectively, it's the same stud pattern as a late model Evo.
Yeah.
Or Evo 4 onwards,
offsets, especially on this and that, would be exactly
That
the
means
same.
you can use OE stuff.
Yeah.
100%,
Whereas you can't.
No.
You've got to buy, that's a universal kit.
Bloody bullshit.
Yeah,
Try and
where
make that work, you know?
Where are you going to find a 17x8 4-stud wheel with 40 offset just to fit your car?
Well, you know, like the common Enkai RFP ones or whatever they're called.
RFP ones, yeah.
If you want that stud pattern, 16x7 or 15, it just stops at 16s. So you got 16x7 because you go, I like the wheels they're light, cool. Because all they did was make them. Because all they realised is who has a 4-star, probably an MX-5 or something. It's on a smaller, smaller car. They don't bother doing it.
So what motor is it?
Yeah, what motor is it? It's a bit of a hybrid, isn't it?
Yeah, it's out of a Mitsubishi Debonair.
Which is what? I've never heard of that.
It's like a Nissan President or Century.
So it's a big.
Yeah, presidential.
Big
big car, which is a 3.5 litre, and that's now bought and stroked out to 4 litres. So it's all balanced rotating assembly, 11:1. Yeah, ported heads, titanium valve train.
So
So you got a different crank in it though, haven't you?
Yeah, it's out of a Mitsubishi 380.
So it must be pretty torquey engines.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, goes well.
And you
Goes
said,
well.
I think I heard you earlier say it revs out to about 7?
Yeah, red line's at 7.2
Yeah.
at the moment. Yeah.
Pretty broad power band, I'd imagine.
It's really
Yeah,
grouse.
yeah.
It just revs all the way to red line.
And what power does it make?
It was dynoed down at Springy, and it made just under 200 at the fronts.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
So,
you got an LSD in this?
yep.
Yeah.
Yep, wave track LSD, standard gearbox bolts up, and yeah, runs 3000 GT ECU, so fully flashable, and yeah, just try to keep as many standard parts in it as I could.
You've pretty much done the whole car nose. You got
Yep.
Evo brakes on it?
No,
Or
they're
GDO, are they?
they're GDO fronts,
Yep.
and GDO rears with Magna Wagon discs, so they just bolt up.
Yeah, and you've looks like you got suspension work.
Yep, Coney's shocks in the front with levels all round, and yeah, all poly bushed the whole car front to back.
Is the gearbox internally stock? Or?
Yep,
Yeah.
internally
okay.
stock. Yeah, just with the wave track LSD. So
Yeah, nice.
see how it holds.
It's a pretty good handling car then, wouldn't it?
It handles
Yeah.
fantastically.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
It is
I think a lot of
fantastic.
people would just oh it's a Magna, but I reckon
Yeah.
it handles.
It's grouse. It really handles nicely. I've got the Evo 8 strut tops in there, the Noltec adjustable ones, so a little bit of camber in them, and fantastic.
What would it weigh?
Factory they're 1320. So
This probably weighs a little bit more, but
Probably
generally
a
it's
little
actually
bit.
not as heavy as probably people would think.
no, it's about the same as a new Honda Civic, really.
Yeah.
So it's not actually that heavy, and yeah, it goes really well. Goes really well.
You've done a nice. I like the interior.
Yeah, thanks, man. Just kept it nice and simple.
That there Evo. What did you say again?
Evo
two.
2 seats.
Yeah.
Yep.
It looks like factory. I
Yeah,
like
that's
that. And
what
you've
I wanted,
done,
all grey.
You've done the middle trim. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, the door trims are all just standard, just how I popped them out.
The center console and everything.
Yeah, carbon
Yeah.
fibre hydro dip.
Yeah.
Just to keep all the grey going through it, and it just looks nice, nice and stock. So yeah,
That's a pretty unique car, actually. How did you decide what engine build did you use? Because it's not the most common engine. It's not like you get a full.
no,
G
it's a
on the
guy
same.
called Graham Bell, and he's been building motors for 50 years. He's in his last book that he released. He concentrated on the 6G motors
Yeah.
and went into depth into those. So he took on the challenge and he loved it because he's never done one.
This is a 6G block.
Yes, they're all
So
anything.
Yeah, so the family is similar to GTO, but of course same but different. That
Yep.
kind of thing. Yeah.
So what engine was in this factory?
3 litre single overhead cam 12 valve.
So it's the same family of engine?
Yep, they're all
Yeah.
6G.
Do these have better, like, I don't know, 4-bolt caps, or is there any difference?
No, it's
in
all
it?
4-bolt.
It's all the same?
Yeah, it's all the same in these. They were made only from I think 95 onwards, the 3.5. Whereas compared to the GTO motors, they were made from like 1990. So
Yeah.
you had the 2-bolt and the 4-bolt
Okay.
versions, but these only ran for about 5 years, and they're all the same.
Yep.
So the Debonair was the only one to have the only front-wheel drive V8 as well.
Oh, that's
in the
interesting.
Mitsubishi,
Yeah.
880. So
Front wheel drive V8.
yeah,
Just some cow skids.
yeah. So yeah, just kept with it and just keeps me busy. That's cool. Yeah,
You got any other plans for it?
wouldn't mind ITBs one day. See you, man.
More intake noise.
Yeah, pretty much. It's had everything else done. It's not restricted at all, like there's no choking in it, it just revs, but that would be lovely to have ITVs.